Hi, I'm Congressman Dennis Kucinich, and I want to thank all those participants in the AMI Monetary Reform Gathering for your participation in this important event. I particularly want to express appreciation to Stephen Zarlenga for his many years of painstaking work in documenting the failures of our present monetary policy and a system which does not truly serve the interest of the American people. I also want to thank Stephen Zarlenga for the assistance that he has provided on landmark legislation which will soon be introduced that will for the first time bring some of the basic principles of the American Monetary Institute's work into a legislative form. Specifically, when you look at the kind of broad-scale unemployment that we have in this country, when you consider that 15 million Americans are out of work, another 12 million Americans are underemployed, that the American Institute of Architects have said that there is between $2 and $3 trillion in infrastructure needs which have not been met. And you see that we have a government which is starved for capital. And we have state and local governments which have very limited ability to be able to meet the needs of repairing roads, bridges, water systems, sewer systems, embarking on transportation projects that could put millions of people to work and also have a favorable impact on our environment. You can understand that we are at a moment of crisis, a crisis that requires that we look at the structure of our systems. Stephen Zarlenga has done that. And as a result of the work that I have had the opportunity to do with Stephen, and in right from the beginning, when I first met him on the 5th of May in 2005, we have charted a course towards looking at what can we do about the conditions which have crippled our economy. What kind of thinking has produced these conditions? One thought occurred in 1913 with the passage of the Federal Reserve Act. Stephen Zarlenga understood how crucial that act was in really privatizing the monetary system and putting it beyond the reach of so many Americans who want to have capital for their businesses, who want to create jobs. So the singular proposal to put the Federal Reserve back under the control of the government through having it become a bureau under Treasury is a very important development, and that will certainly be included in our bill. The fact that the fractional reserve banking system has enabled banks to spend money into existence without necessarily any public purpose, how they can pyramid the wealth of a few at the expense of the many, is something that Stephen has talked about for years. And we're addressing the issues relating to fractional reserve banking and making major changes in that system that closely parallel the work that Stephen has been involved in for decades. We understand that the ability to coin money is a basic constitutional privilege that Congress is supposed to be involved in, and that Congress has the ability and the right to be able to change the present system. And so, again, looking at the work that Stephen has done, we have been able to identify a mechanism by which the government can spend money into circulation for the purpose of investing in infrastructure, investing in our economy, investing in rebuilding America, investing in putting millions of people back to work. It's that kind of investment which needs to be made now. The private sector is not investing per se in America. when the private sector fails, the government has a moral responsibility to step in. But this goes beyond those principles. It goes right to the issue of in whose interest is the money supply being managed. And we know that it's been managed in a private interest. We know that the Fed miserably failed in its role to protect the interests of the American people when it helped to fuel the subprime mortgage meltdown through its lack of vigilance and oversight. We know that we're at a moment right now where our country is in deep trouble unless we make some structural changes in the way money's created. We see an America that's mired in debt. Well, our bill, we believe, it will be able to change that. We see a country that is strapped by unemployment. Our bill will be able to change that. A country that lacks the ability to take care of its own people with respect to their health care, their education, their retirement security. We have mechanisms in the bill that will be introduced soon that deal with each of those important areas of our national economy and our national experience. I'm so grateful for the important work which Stephen has continued. And we are going to work with him and with all of you in trying to create in America an awareness that there's another way, that there's another way with respect to monetary policy, that there's another way with respect to the government's ability to handle issues relating to debt, that there's another way to do banking so that there's a public interest corollary, that there's another way to finance to meet the infrastructure needs of America directly without the government having to borrow money. All of the issues that are up today in America for debate are issues that can be met and dealt with. And we're going to continue working closely with Stephen Zarlenga and the American Monetary Institute, all of you, in bringing these issues to the forefront. So stay tuned. I think you can expect that sometime in November we will have a bill, and we're going to put a strong inflection on jobs because that's what Americans are concerned about. But all the mechanisms that you're concerned about are I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at the way that the bill will be structured. But that'll be the first step. And then in successive Congresses, we hope to continue the progress towards not just the reform of monetary policy, but towards creating a society which is more just, a society where economic justice can be built into the life of a nation through its everyday transactions. Thank you very much.